Welcome back to another developer interview, a follow up interview to friend of the channel, Mr. Jerome, aka Honest Road Games. You may remember from my talk about his game, Koboo The Tree Spirit. Had a lot of fun talking about him the first time, but today is a follow up because this man met his goal on Kickstarter. In fact, just recently I found out at the time of this recording, Joe, it's Average Joe, met his Kickstarter goal on the Edge of Allegoria. So shout out to him.
Nice.
But we're not talking about his game. We'll come back to his game. But today we're talking to the
Yep.
Jerome about his game, Koboo The True Spirit. Just talk about the Kickstarter and just talk about where we go from here. Sort of like a little development update. So Jerome, good to have you back on the channel, man. How's everything going?
I'm good. Just like been doing a lot of work, been really enjoying development. It's been a lot of fun. Like I've been like working a lot with my brother, like really closely, and we're both like super involved. He was like just getting on the project at first, but now we've just been talking about ideas, like working really hard on it, and the snowball is like going so well in development. So like I just want to keep riding it, and I'm really happy
Yeah,
it all
that's good,
worked
man.
out, the funding stuff.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always interesting. I think you and Eric and Joe, because you've all like
Mm-hmm.
met your Kickstarter goals, it's just been rolling and rolling. So once you make your goal,
Yeah.
I think your the cadence is now we gotta keep cooking. We gotta get back in the kitchen.
Yeah. Yeah.
We gotta update. And so you've been very nice to like give people updates on Kickstarter. So let's start there. Let's start there
Yes.
at the Kickstarter. So originally you had a goal of let's see, looking at the page here, $5,000
Mhm.
Canadian, and you met that. You made a total of $7,000, $7,000 Canadian. So which is great. So shout out to you, and you had a total of
Yeah.
229 backers. So that's awesome. I'm glad a lot of people latched onto this project and saw your heart and your vision on this. So I'm excited for you, and I'm glad that you made your goal. How did you feel about how did it feel once you know you made it 100%, and then also making more than 100%? How was that feeling?
Oh yeah. I guess it's just super validating for the project. Like I've been working on it for 3 years, and I knew
Yeah,
that there was interest, but you never really know that people would actually like pay for it and have like that level of interest until you actually do it. And so it was like so it was amazing, and I guess it's why it makes it easier to keep the ball rolling and work on it because you know that you have all these like supporters that are kind of behind you, right? So it's
yeah.
so motivating and it's like amazing, and like obviously there's a risk, but like if it pays off, it's just like I feel like it's just easy to make the choice to work on it and keep going at that point, which is
Yeah, that
awesome.
makes a whole
So
lot of
great.
sense. It's great that you have so much support in that, and
Mm,
I'm sure as soon as you met that goal, it's like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. What's also great is that you get to add a little bit extra on top of it because I see you had some stretch goals. One
yeah.
of those was a new weapon set.
Mm,
So if in case anyone's watching who didn't catch the first interview, which go back and listen to the first interview because it's a great interview. I would love for you to listen to all the things that this man has to say. But just a brief rundown of Koboo The Tree Spirit. It's a 2D Souls like roguelike game, and kind of harkens back to things like Fern Gully, and you're saving the environment. So all that stuff, and you'll see images and whatever gameplay I have going on in the foreground here. But um, so talk about so we had weapons before. We had a series of three
mm.
weapons that you had to choose from. I think it was an axe, throwing star, and then a magma ball. So now that that new stretch goal has been reached with this new weapon set, talk a little bit about what will be included uh, more in the game.
So we didn't actually like reach the stretch goal, but I'm basically putting the stretch goal in anyways because it's just like more like we just barely didn't reach it.
Oh, that's right.
But
Never
it
mind.
doesn't really matter
Yeah.
because I'm like implementing like a bunch of new weapon stuff anyways, and we want to have like a lot of basically like me and my brother play the game so much. We played it for like so many hours that like we just get bored of the same weapons, and so we just want to add like more stuff. So I thought
Nice.
I'd be like, oh, I'm not sure how many we're gonna add, but then now I just like want to add like every single idea that we can think of, like we're gonna put in there. So we want to have like a lot of different weapon types and weapon diversity in the game.
Nice.
So we're definitely adding that goal, even though it wasn't actually reached. Like it's close enough that I think it's makes sense to add it. Yeah.
You're right.
It's like $100 short or something. It's
That's
really
true.
close, yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I've still got sick brain. So
That's
my
okay.
my numbers are off, but yeah, that's great. So how
Yeah.
many weapon types are you wanting to put in to the game?
Well, right now there's like there's 9 different weapons like right now. Like
Okay.
there's basically 3 different like types, but then there's like this like extra like the magic type goes into like 2 sections. There's like an active magic type and then a passive magic type. So
Hmm.
it's kind of like there's 4. Um, yeah, that's the idea is that we have like the core weapon set, and then as you play, you like unlock more and more. There's like 9 to start, and then you can like get more as you play, like unlock new weapons to do. Like we want to have as much diversity and stuff as we can. Um, yeah,
Yeah, that's exciting, man. So something that we've mentioned before, and if you didn't watch the previous interview, is that a portion of whatever was put towards the Kickstarter is going towards what's called the Amazon Conservation Team. So, what is that process going to look like, or has that money already gone towards this team?
yeah,
Or yeah,
yeah,
sweet,
yeah. I
that's
did.
awesome.
Yeah, I did donate that. Yeah, it's just like great also to like I ended up donating like $900 Canadian. I think it's like 800 or something American. I'm not sure exactly how much
I'm
it is
not
in
good on
American.
conversion. So,
Yeah. Yeah, but that's like also really great to be able to I talked about the last interview, being able to contribute something that like I have the environmental theme and to actually be able to feel like I'm like sort of like not just like ignoring the actual world and the actual environment that we live in, like trying to actually honor the message that I have in any ways, like what I want to do. So I try to do that in my life, and I think like me having that donation, and also everyone like giving the opportunity to people to donate for that is like I think it's really great opportunity that I'm happy that I did that. Like if the game does well, I'm definitely gonna give more as well too.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Is there a way for people to still donate to the Kickstarter even though it's closed?
No, not really. So, I mean, there is actually Indiegogo, so it's not like connected to the Amazon like rainforest conservation stuff, but
Hmm.
um I mean, I would just say that they should just donate themselves if they wanted to.
There you
And
go.
just like learn about it and stuff. And yeah,
Yeah.
so it's
That no,
fine.
that's
Yeah.
a really good idea. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll put a link to the Amazon conservation team in the description of this video so people can
Yeah.
check it out and look it up for themselves cuz it's a good cause of helping saving the environment. So yeah, appreciate you
Mhm.
like literally putting your money where your mouth is. So that's
Yeah.
great. So let's talk about the game itself. So there have been a fair number of updates. I think how many updates have you put out in total since like post Kickstarter?
A post probably just like 4 or 5. I mean, we're tomorrow we're gonna have it's like the 0.7 update.
Okay.
So I think we updated like once before. Yeah, so basically we've been updating like bi-weekly. This one's almost like a week. So like just as much as we could basically. Like we work all like, like 9 to 5 on it, and then or if not a bit longer, and then like whatever we have, whenever we feel like we have a good amount, we just release that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, talk about this most you said you were talking before I started recording that you have an upcoming update which will probably be out maybe after the time that this interview comes out. So, talk
Yeah.
about the most recent update that you're putting out or that is out already, I guess.
Oh yeah. Oh, this one, yeah, this one's cool. So there's like the new thorn weapon that we're adding, and it's like I kind of did like a change up with the weapons. So like now the leaves, before the leaves were like really powerful and they did a lot of damage, and I realized like and it just like didn't really feel right or make sense that like leaves like are really strong and powerful. So then now you like kind of you like machine gun them and like throw a bunch of leaves at the enemy. You have like 10
Oh.
ammo of leaves. So you just like shoot a whole bunch of them. Which I feel like it thematically makes more sense, like a leaf blower thing that you're like blowing. It's like it's pretty fun to play with. And so what I did is I took the idea and put it into the thorn item, and that's just like these little like rose thorns that you throw at enemies, and it does like way more damage. And they get lodged into the enemy, and you can like use another weapon to like kind of like lodge it in even more and like deal more damage to them. So
Oh,
it
that's really
synergizes.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
other
That's a
stuff.
really good idea. Yeah,
Hmm.
because even before this most recent update, there were a couple of weapons that you added in that would help with that. One of them was I
Yeah.
think it's correct me if I'm wrong. It's called like a lightning orb.
Yes, lightning orb, yeah.
Yeah, lightning orb, and then there was a couple of daggers.
Yeah. Fade daggers, boomerang, lightning
Yeah, boomerang.
orb.
That's right.
We also added a spear as well, another melee weapon. The
Oh,
last
nice. You added a
update.
spear. I don't think I've seen that one yet, but yeah.
Yeah, that
So
was fun.
I'll definitely be going back to the demo and updating that. And that's what's really
Yeah.
cool. And that's what when I was trying to prep for this interview, just trying to see, like, I was comparing the gameplay that I put up from the first time I played the demo during Steam Next Fest, and then right now, there's like there's a
Oh
completely
yeah.
different feeling from when I played that. I think I remember telling you that
Hmm.
it felt sometimes I think the combat felt a little bit too fast. You were kind of just slipping and sliding around. But I think
Oh
now, for whatever you've been cooking, it just feels a
yeah.
whole lot better. Um, I love the music. Not that I didn't love the music before, but I think there's just a better feel to everything.
Oh yeah.
Your character is able to move around a lot more like fluidly. The weapons
Hmm.
the weapon synergies are better, and I think something uh that I don't think that was present initially is that you can have two weapons at one time, right?
Yes, yeah. Well, I agree that the difference, like I love like even like going back and seeing old builds. Because, and I mean, like, I had a build like 3 years ago, right? Like, the game's so old.
Oh
So, like,
yeah,
comparing it's so nice. But, the difference is basically it's polish, basically. Like, that's the difference that, like, polish makes.
that's
Like,
true.
just getting it better and better, like play testing and, like, seeing what feedback from you, like, feedback from other people, like, everyone, you just, like, accumulate all that and then you just like it's just like there's no going around just spending time working on it like for hours. But the thing is that the idea was validated, it's like it's just easy to just spend all this time working on it. But like before it would be a huge commitment to like spend all that time and effort to do that, not being sure if the idea works. But like as soon as I knew, I was like, it's just time to just work on it and make it better, right? So
Yeah, it's like a new flash of inspiration for you.
yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
because
Yeah.
obviously you still had it because you're passionate about this game. I mean,
Yes.
even if you didn't make it the Kickstarter, or even if no one really cared about it, I think you would still have the passion to do
Absolutely.
it. But I think now
Hmm.
with like this much support behind the game, you have, like I said, yeah, this new wave of like, oh man, I could do this, this, and this. I could add in 20 more
Yeah.
weapons, and I could just polish it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool. So you have these new weapon synergies. Um, also correct me if I'm wrong. The enemy hitboxes were they as present in the previous
No.
builds?
They weren't as like present as they are now. Yeah. Now everything is like very obvious and very telegraphed. Like
Yeah.
every attack in the game. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, man, it is really obvious where these attacks are coming in. And I was like, I don't remember it
Yeah.
being like that, but
And you can
it's
actually
good.
like turn it off if you want it to be like the old system. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but
Oh
sometimes I play with it
gosh.
off just because it's like more challenging and more like realistic to play it
Actually,
that way.
that if you wanted to add that as a feature, I feel like that would be good. Or put in some
Yeah.
sort of achievement to be like play
Oh yeah.
be
If you're
play
insane,
with a
yeah.
certain amount of time without the hitboxes on. But I mean, the
Yeah, that
enemies
would be
have
fun.
wide attacks, so it's tough. But
Yeah, it is really
I
tough,
mean, I
yeah.
think someone who would get good at the game would probably figure that out eventually. Just like with
Hmm.
fighting games, you understand hitboxes, so you know the
Yeah.
range and distance how enemies attack. So yeah,
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I still got hit a lot because man,
Yeah, it's hard.
they hit hard, and it was I was trying to find my bearings. But man, it's cool to see. I think also something that wasn't present in previous builds, but now that it's present, is that you get a passive upgrade after every level, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, you get we just like yeah, it used to be you go to a room and get a level and stuff, and then we just kind of like polished that down and like improved it as much as we can. Like
Yeah.
added a lot of like visual stuff and like made that nicer. And we had like before we I just kind of like added it, not really like thinking about how it fit into the greater game or like how like I've just been like thinking about it a lot more and making sure that like when you actually get a full run, like all the upgrades and stuff make sense in that whole experience of like improving whatever weapon you have is, and also like getting new abilities, like that it kind of ends up you get this like complete build at like the end of the game, right? So I've been like incorporating all that stuff into the game right now.
Yeah. How much
Yeah.
content is in the game at this point in the demo?
There's like not so a lot of the content is like it's still the same like just like it's like the first world of the game. It's like
Okay.
you get that you fight a bunch of enemies and then you get a boss. But it's just been like polished and changed and like now it's like more random like which enemies you're fighting and like where they spawn from. And there's also like the bosses like changes different. There's like enemies that spawn like during the boss. And most of the content is like getting new abilities and like trying out the new weapons. So it's like the same sort of content, but you're just like you can like kind of discover which like builds you like. So it's kind of
Oh,
that like
nice.
rogue like kind of like gameplay loop, right? Where it's like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
actual content's not that much, but you're experimenting with like how you want to approach like and fight
And that's
enemies,
good.
right?
I think that keeps it fresh, because I mean
Mm.
that's what a demo is. I mean it's just like a vertical slice, so you probably don't want to pack
Yes, yeah,
too much of what the full game will be like, because otherwise you're just releasing a game for free. But yeah, it's
yeah,
good that you'll have builds that you can go in and then you just use it in the level. So that'll be nice, and it keeps it fresh, keeps it interesting, and it keeps a level of challenge for the player, because even though
yeah,
you're fighting the same enemies, and even though you could do it over and over again, it may look different depending on what build you're trying to go at. So yeah, that's
yeah.
pretty cool. Yeah. Um, let's see what I got. Oh man, I lost my train of thought.
That's okay.
I had something in the back of my mind. I was gonna ask you, but
Yeah.
but let's see. Where am I going? What was I what was I thinking?
Mm,
Oh, I know
what
what
are
I
you
was gonna
talking
ask.
about demo content? Yeah,
Oh yeah. So what I was gonna ask is, we were talking about
yeah.
polish earlier. Is I So I think this comes up a lot in like art and creative projects.
Mm-hmm.
Is there can be maybe a challenge of over polishing something, if that makes sense,
Mm.
to where like
Oh
as a
yeah,
musician you work on a song and you listen to it over and over and over again, and you chop it down, or you edit this, or you want to add in this
yeah,
layer and this layer, to the point to where it doesn't even sound like your original vision. So um do you wonder, is there a point to where you think that, okay, I think I'm good for right now, at least like for a 1.0 release, to where you don't like over
yeah. Mm.
polish it? Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. That is like you're basically it's like the perfectionist mind trap where
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
like
yeah.
you're always like, oh, this needs to be better. I need to improve this. Well, to me, I don't. I think the playtesting in general, like in game design, like playtesting is like I feel like it's so key and it's the key to like releasing something like to market and actually like finishing something that people end up really enjoying. Um, like all my old games that haven't done as well, I'm just like, this game it had all the potential to do well, but it just need to be like play tested more. And for
Mm-hmm.
Kobu, like we do play test and there's people still saying there's things that aren't like right about it. And so to me, it's just like that means it means more polished, right? Like until
Right.
people we put it in front of people and know it, they're just like they have no comments. They just like enjoying the game, like no comments about like polish that they feel like needs to be there
Yeah.
then like but until then like as long as people and I can also see that there's things that are polished because like I do like I know that you can't get into that perfectionist trap, but I also just enjoy like having something be finished and released. It's like very relieving feeling. So
I'm
I
sure it
don't really
is.
want to
Yeah.
be, yeah,
Yeah.
working on it for that long. Like if there's some little mistakes or things wrong, I'm just gonna leave it and like think about doing that later when, like just focusing on what like is important and essential is the main thing. So those playtests are really key. Like I do playtests and I also just watch like anytime people do content on the game or like talk about it online in any way, like I'm always watching and listening to that and paying attention. And there's some great feedback from people, so that's been really helpful.
That's good. Yeah, and I'm glad you've
Mm.
taken feedback well, because yeah, I think, and I think sometimes people in general will always have something to say about something,
Yes,
and
yeah.
so I think it's
Yeah.
probably, yeah. I'm sure you're probably doing your best to like kind of parse down all of the feedback and figure out what is constructive, what is helpful, and what is maybe
Yeah.
like, I don't know, and maybe has there,
Yeah.
I don't, you don't need to call anybody out, but has there been some feedback that you have disagreed with people?
Oh, well, actually, yeah, I think the key is to there's like a difference between like an opinion and like feedback. So
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
maybe
yeah,
they're like, oh,
for
this
sure.
weapon is just like too strong. That could be like an opinion versus like this weapon is like not fun to use or like I'm just like or I think it's just like really weak and I would never use it or something like that. Like there might actually be a reason why. And so like it's kind of hard to tell which one's which sometimes. But because I spent like so much time with the game, it's like all about parsing that out. I think me and my brother like so that's also a big reason why we've been able to polish and work so hard on it is like we're working together and
Hmm.
that's just really pushed the like speed of everything and like the momentum so much forward. And he's really great. We like do like have disagreements sometimes about little things. Like overall we share the same vision, but someone's just like how to get there is like a little bit different.
Sure.
And so we do like talk about that and we have like healthy little arguments about it, but it's like doesn't last very long and we're always good at like realizing that we're on the same page and like figuring it out pretty quickly and like
Yeah.
correcting like what we both think is right. But I think that's like pretty normal to have that and honestly like the community has not been like negative or like bad in like anywhere. I feel like they've been so like supportive with it and like everyone all the feedback has been really helpful. It's basically like it's something that I have in my mind like oh maybe we should change this and then I hear it echoed from other people and so to me it's like oh it's kind of obvious I need to do that if other people are also seeing that as a problem, right?
Right.
That's
That
usually
that
how it
makes
works.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, it's I mean it's okay to disagree because you're your own person. Like
Yeah.
you and your brother are working up, but you're two different people. You're not some sort of hive
Yeah.
mind. But yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense with the feedback. If you're hearing the same thing from multiple sources, yeah, that's probably something to look at. Whereas you have one person that says, "Oh, I don't like this weapon because I'm bad at it." It's like, well, maybe that
Yeah.
maybe that's a skill issue. Maybe that's not what I did. Maybe that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
So maybe try a
One
different
thing
weapon.
also, yeah, yeah. One thing also is that I like we have so many settings in the game and like stuff that you can
Yeah.
change.
Uh-huh.
And
You
so
have a lot
like
of
one
settings.
thing that happens, yeah, quite a bit is like when people say like, "Oh, I really don't like this." It's like, well, you could just like change that. It takes like 2 seconds in the settings, but they're just not used to having so many options in the settings, like really honing down how you want to play the game, like customize your experience. There's a lot of options to do that in the game,
That's
but
true.
people just like aren't as used to that, which is fine. But
Yeah, I mean, and that's why
yeah,
you have accessibility for people who are like, well, I
mm,
want it like this. Well, there you go. You can change it. Yeah, that's
yeah,
cool. So as far as
yeah.
like you mentioned, like other people have been playing it. Have you seen a lot of like streams or people creating content on YouTube or something like that?
Yeah, there's been like a bit like considering I haven't been doing that much on marketing, like and the demo's just kind of there and being updated. Like I'm pretty like happy with seeing like there's still some content and interest. Like obviously you have that, which is like awesome, and just other like content creators and like some Twitch people, and also just like even some like friends that I have that are Twitch streamers and stuff, like them playing it and talking about it. So um yeah, that's been really helpful. It's just like a little bit, not like a lot, but it's fine. Like it's just like it's more so the quality of how much like effort you put into it. Like if there's someone that really is like, oh, this game is like really cool, and they just spend 30 minutes like talking about how they think it could be like better, and like that's
Yeah.
just like so valuable. Like, if there's just someone that's like playing passively and like it's not that important to them or something, then it's not really as useful. But there are some people that have done that, just like really wanted to see the game be better. Like people like you basically that just
Yeah.
really care about indie games and want to improve it.
Yeah,
Like
man.
that's like it's such a difference maker for me because like I can't like read other people's minds and know everything. There's like always some things that I would miss. So it's
Yeah.
really helpful to have that.
Are there some notable uh content creators that you would want
Mm.
to get their eyes on this?
Well, yeah, I think like is it Wanderbots is like that's
Oh
like one of
yeah,
my
Wonderbots. Yeah.
yeah, I love him
Yeah.
so much. And I love his playthrough. I think he's like with his like girlfriend or his wife, I'm not sure, of Wonder Song.
Okay.
Um, Me and my brother watched it. And I love that playthrough, and he like voices all the characters, like they both voice the characters.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
true. Yeah, I
yeah, I really love
remember.
that game. Yeah,
Oh yeah, I was looking up Frog Song. Was it Frog Song? Yeah, I think it was Frog Song. No, you
or
did say that
Wonder
name.
Song.
Yeah, there was another
Wonder
game
Song.
called Frog Song. It's the same. There,
Oh
I
yeah,
was
I
pro.
backed that
Oh,
on
you did?
Kickstarter. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
yes, I did.
That's awesome. Yeah. What about let's see, what's his
Yeah.
name? I think it's called. I think his name is Hylian. Is that?
Oh yes, 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 yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy who does a lot of Hades. I mean, he's basically
Yeah,
like all roguelikes, but he's most
yeah,
known for Hades runs.
yeah. He seems like so funny. I feel like
Yeah.
I've seen him on stream with like different costumes or something,
Oh, I don't know.
or like
Maybe
weird stuff.
I don't really check his
I
streams, but
can't remember.
maybe he does.
I don't know.
But
Maybe yeah,
yeah,
but
but I can understand that marketing
yeah,
is its own job, on top of developing. So, it's
mm,
good that you, like you said, without not a whole lot of it, people are still doing that. They're kind of doing it for you, where they're helping
yeah,
market the game.
that's
Where
great.
like I'm trying to do the same thing. So,
Yeah,
yeah, give you some marketing. But yeah, I know that's a big deal. So, do you think you'll have a? This will
mm,
be a nice segue into talking about the release date. So, do you think you'll have a big marketing push, like going towards your release date?
yeah. No, absolutely. And I obviously like plan to have the game done before it, and then I'm gonna just be like testing and polishing that a lot. And during that time, like I imagine that my brother would be more focused on polishing and fixing the bugs and doing all that because he does programming, right?
Yeah,
So he'll be doing like a lot of that stuff at that time, and I'm gonna focus more because right now I'm doing like art and music and like design and those sort of elements like a lot because I'm trying to get all the content done,
right.
right? So that's just like so much of my time to meet that deadline. So like not as much as I wanted to. I've had like time to focus on marketing. But now I want to try to like add that more. Like the closer I get to release, the more I'm gonna be like focusing on it. It's not like obviously you should do as much marketing as you can, like as consistently as you can. But it's kind of my top priority to just get. I want the game to be done, and I want it to be like really good when it's out, as
Of
like soon as
course.
I can.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So like that's kind of my priority, and I'm gonna be. I'm definitely gonna be doing a push like a month or 2 months
With that
before
being
like
said,
sending it to people.
when is the release date?
So the release date is July 2024 this year. So it should be like probably like the end of the summer sometime or like the middle of the summer.
Okay, July
That's when it'll be
2024.
done.
July 4th, everybody. I'm kidding. You're
Yeah.
Canadian, so I don't know why they would even matter to you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like in the middle of July. That's
Okay,
like the plan.
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so July 2024. So you'll be continuing to do that. Is that so that'll be your 1.0 release, right?
No, that's gonna be an early access
Early
release on
access.
Steam.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah,
so go about on early access, and then
yeah,
um, that's I'm glad you said that because that's a good
mhm,
that leads up another question. So, how long
yeah.
do you think you'll be in early access until like you
Mhm.
get a full 1.0 build?
So I would say like it kind of I want it to be like feel like it's like done. I have like I already know everything I want,
Uh
like
huh.
what the 1.0 would look like and what I want it to be. So it's just like however long it takes to get to that point is when it'll be done. So I'm thinking it could be like a year from now, or like maybe like 6 months after release, right? That's like
Yeah.
about the time. But like I said, it's like I have, and I already know I have all the content and everything like planned out. So I know how it like I want it to look and like how it'll feel like it like complete game. So like however long it takes to get there is like that's like what I'm gonna do. And I just know that probably gonna take a bit longer or like or maybe it won't like I'm just like it's hard to know like maybe we're gonna be prepared enough that it's good when it's out but it's just so hard to know like I feel like there's so much stuff that could come up and like make it take longer, right?
No, yeah, I agree. That makes sense. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
you're doing all the polish you can right now, and then once it's
Mm-hmm.
actually out, then you'll have like it's basically casting the net into the giant
Yeah.
sea just to see what else comes up. And like you're getting feedback
Yeah.
now, but I'm sure you'll get a massive more amount of feedback once you go like
Mm-hmm.
full early access and you're in it. And so yeah.
Yeah.
And if it takes longer to get to that 1.0 release, I think that's probably worth it. I think I forget what the
Absolutely.
quote is. I think Kojima said it, and probably other game devs have said it. Is that a something said about good games being delayed. I'm losing the quote, but essentially, it's okay
Oh yeah.
to delay a game because a good game will last a lot longer than a rush
Mm.
game. So all
Yeah.
all that to say, just take your time, and yeah, what you are
Yeah.
doing, and I'm glad that you have a goal, you're meeting those goals, and people are seeing those goals being met, and people are seeing the updates. So yeah, it's looking good for you, man. I appreciate all the work that you and your brother have been putting in to this game. So wish lists are vastly important to you as a developer. So that's the best way that people can support the game. Wish list, and like I said earlier, I will put a link to the Amazon Conservation Team page in the description of this video so you can donate to them.
Nice.
What's another way that people can get in touch with you or follow you?
I would I would say like Steam is like my favorite way to communicate and talk with people. So like I would say with like wish listing and following on Steam because I'm gonna be like posting updates a lot there and I'm like always checking in the forums. They haven't really been as active like recently.
Mm-hmm.
Um so I'm gonna like basically every single day I'm checking that, right? Like multiple times a day, even I'm like checking the Steam page and all that stuff. So that's like the most like guaranteed way to like get in contact with me is like directly through the game. There's like discussions on the Steam forums, like that's like a really good way if you have feedback or comments.
Sweet.
So yeah,
And
I'd
you
say
have a
that's
you
good.
have a YouTube, Honest Road Games,
Yeah.
um, and then Twitch. You stream,
Yes.
kinda.
Y- Yeah. Yeah. I want to be streaming more. I feel like every streamer kind of says that unless they're like really into it.
Yeah, but I
Like,
mean, you're
yeah.
busy. You're busy making a game, so you have an excuse.
Yeah.
So you have a
Yeah.
good excuse.
Yeah. But I want to do both. I think you could do both. Work on it
Yeah.
and stream.
Well, cool, man, and wish you much success. All the success already. You're doing great, and I can't wait to continue to keep playing this game and supporting it and seeing where it goes from here. So, yeah, be sure to follow all things Alice Rose Games and Jerome on the socials, and be sure to wish list and look out for Koboo The Tree Spirit coming to a console. I mean, a computer near you. Computer's a console, whatever. In July of
Yeah.
2024, but you can play the demo right now. All the updates are here. him and his brother are going to continue to update so you can play it as much as you want. And if you're a content creator, you can make content out of it, like me. And yeah, do all things you want so you can get this man some more visibility. Yeah, I'll put all of that in a link in the description of this video. Thank you, Jerome, for joining me on this episode of the Dev Talks. Sick brain, man, going crazy, but whatever. We're here, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And my name is Chike. I will see you on the next one. Peace out.
Bye bye.